If you could, when I call your name, if you could just please join me up here at the table. So today we have joining us Laszlo Palko. He's the city manager of the city of Manassas Park. Laszlo? Jeff Kedmarek, executive director of economic development with Prince William County. And Patrick Small, economic development director of the city of Manassas. So I want to thank each of you for joining us here today. I know there's a lot of really good stuff to talk about in the Prince William region with respect to economic development, so we're looking forward to hearing what you have to say. We're going to give you each 10 minutes to speak. We'll start with Laszlo and just go down the row. And we'll give you the high sign as you're approaching your 10 minutes. And then at the end, hopefully there'll be some time permitting and we'll ask some questions. So Laszlo, go ahead.
Sure. I had some slides.
Oh, that's what I'm here. That's what Ross is here.
I don't know if you can do slides or not, but I think it's always a little bit easier.
Sure.
That's what I'm going to do, yeah. Thank
You on the top left.
Okay, thank you all so much, and I want to thank the Chamber so much for giving us this opportunity to discuss the great community that is Manassas Park. Before I go into this, though, as we are approaching Veterans Day weekend, I just want to take the time out to thank all veterans here and throughout our region as well for all their great service, and for those who never came back as well. I lost a close friend this last weekend in Afghanistan, so it's please keep him and his family in your thoughts and prayers this weekend. So I want to start off that way, but so you can see up there, that is our community center. You can see our logo with Community Matters. That is the biggest thing, the most important thing for our community, and you'll see kind of that theme as I go through this. So I want to start off discussing who we are and where we are, because most people don't even know we exist, to be honest with you. Everyone thinks we're part of Patrick's city. We're either we're just Manassas, or even the funniest one I've heard, my city attorney, someone thought he was the attorney for the park authority for the city of Manassas. So I guess you guys have a park authority and we're it. But no, we are actually an independent city. We're a smaller city. You know, we're overcoming a lot of difficulties, but I think we have a great team, and you will see that here. But I just want to kind of start off with that, because a lot of people, like I said, don't know where we are. And then I'm going to conclude with discussion of the city center. That is our priority focus. As a small community, we really struggle from a employee standpoint in terms of being able to fund the requisite position. So you can see I'm a city manager and I'm doing economic development briefing. Everyone else here has an economic development professional doing so. I will do my best to sound as professional as I can, but I'm not an economic development professional. I'm a city manager doing my best at helping our community. So where we are, of course, whenever you're talking about where you are, you always want to say, okay, how close are you to a major city, right? How close are you to the airport, and then how close, what routes kind of go through your community are you close to? So we're 32 miles west of DC. Since we're all more familiar with this area, we're just south of Centerville in the county. We're right south of the Yorkshire area of Prince William County, and just to the north of our friends down in the city of Manassas. We have Route 28 that cuts right through the center of our city. And we're pretty close to Route 66 as well. So that's just kind of a quick snapshot of where we are for people who don't know. And we are a proud community. That is the biggest emphasis, regardless of which party has been in power at our city. Everyone has agreed with the emphasis that keeping that small town feel and being proud of our diverse community that we have, and trying to continue to instill that community spirit. That has been the consistent value that our city councils have given to staff as a value proposition. We celebrate and recognize our diversity that we do have in our community. We have people from all over the world. We're a safe community. We're always ranked between number 3 and 7, depending on what criteria you're using in terms of safest communities in all of Virginia. So we're doing pretty well. And like I said before, we really emphasize that connectivity that we have as a community, because we are small. We're only two square miles as a city. but we're 17,000 people. But because we are so small, and because we do things like our rec center and events, we try to keep our community very well connected. You can see a state average yearly income within 3 miles of our city center, because that's kind of the analysis we're doing right now. We're trying to do development around our city center. We can't, because I don't have an economic development manager, we have to prioritize in what we're doing, and we're focusing on developing that downtown. And that's what I'm going to go over a little bit today. You can see some beautiful shots of our community and who we are. And just continuing in terms of that theme of population, you can see around our city center, what our population looks like and the household units. I've contracted 2 consulting firms to help us out, which is one reason why I can't afford the economic development director. These firms are not cheap, but I wanted to get different perspectives, because it's always good. You're always going to see different things. So I had Arnett Muldrow help me out there, who I used when I was in Lovettsville, helping them do our similar kind of town square development when I was their manager. And I also use Street Sense, which is a pretty big, well-known marketing firm in this area as well. So we just have some simple kind of graphics. And the important thing is we're growing as not just our city, but the surrounding area. And my colleagues from Prince William and the city of Manassas will tell you the same thing as well. Our city has grown pretty tremendously. We were in the, stuck in kind of the 6,000 people range between the late 60s all the way to kind of the late 90s, and then over the last 20 years we've added about another 11,000 people to our city and growing. So that's going to be a continuing theme. We're a young, growing community. Government, we are a full service city. Sorry, Manassas, we're not your park authority. We do have full scope city. We have our own schools, our own police, fire, social services. Actually, the picture down there is of our mayor and city council. We just gave some awards to our social services department employees who've been doing a great job at the community level. But that's one thing. We don't have a lot of financial resources, but I am blessed to have a great team of staff who work really, really hard to get what's done. And the good thing about us being so small is we don't have a communication problem. We are communicating effectively. As you get larger, it's tough to kind of keep that communication going. So that is our strength, is the people that we have, and our mayor and council share this shared vision right now of where we need to go as a community, and they've given me the direction for where we need to head to. We have beautiful schools as well. We invest heavily in our facilities, in all of our facilities over the last few years. I know Manassas, that's something you guys are thinking about as well. But we did that with our school, and we're proud of the facilities that we were able to build. Now we just have to figure out a way to fund them. So that's part of the message today, and why we're focused on economic development. Business activity, you can see total sales volume. That says 2018, that's actually fiscal year 2018, so July 1st, 2017 till June 30th of 2018. You can see our biggest sector is right now retail and restaurants, but that's the one that we're targeting to grow pretty significantly when we talk about the city center development. Right now we have 2 community shopping centers on each edge of our city. We have Kent Village and then the Andrews Drive Shopping Center. Luckily, both of them have sort of a destination place. Kent Village has Tortino Mare, great Italian food if you want to go there, a great chef, so I recommend that. And then we have Preston's Pub. We were excited to get them in our community. They had another business out in Clifton, which is very successful. Best burgers in the region, so go check out Preston's and Tortino Mare if you're in our city. And then in the center of our city, where Route 28 cuts across, we have an old Manassas Park Shopping Center. That's kind of the strip development that we have. So we have strip, and we have community shopping centers. Now we're looking for a more robust community center, because we want that central gathering place for our community as well, and we want to continue to grow that retail and restaurant number. We feel that's the best way that we're going to be able to diversify our revenue streams, because of this the strength of sales and meals taxes and be whole for our revenue streams as well. And then if you combine that business services and construction contractors, that's really our Connor Center is what we call it. It's a nice large industrial and office park that we do have that generates a lot of great income for the city. And I wish I had more time to really focus on how I can help them out as well, but we have a lot of other issues that we have to work on, and my focus right now is city center, but I haven't forgotten about them in the long term. We are going to look to how we can continue to grow that, and we have been meeting with some pretty interesting businesses doing some cool stuff, so we hope that they can continue to grow, and we can grow our businesses organically as well. So the big topic for us is City Center. Phase 1 was built by Clark back in 2018. The recession hit, and then they sold it to another company, True North. And I'm sure during the Q&A, I may get a question for why is that retail space empty, I will certainly answer that question. 2 more minutes, okay. We have phase 2. What we're looking at is phase 3. StreetSense came back with the numbers, and you can see kind of what the retail demand looks like and the vehicle traffic as well. The good thing is we are landowners, so we are able to do, we're looking to do a public-private partnership with this downtown development. What will be helping us out significantly as well is that VRE is going to be building a 550-space parking garage as part of that city center phase 3. That parking is going to be available to support retail on evenings and weekends as well. This is what phase 1 and 2 look like. You can see the breakdown in terms of residential, and we're getting some more office as part of it as well. And then these are the concept plans that StreetSense came up with. The key takeaway is we're actually going to issue out an RFP here within the next couple of months. Soliciting. StreetSense gave us not only these concept plans, they gave us some market analytics, and they helped us draft our RFP, and they gave us a target list of who can make this a reality. And StreetSense has been involved in a lot of these kind of city center style developments throughout this region, so they know what they're talking about. So we're giving out some kind of guidance in terms of what we want to see developed in our city center, and that's what we're going to issue out in the RFP, and we hope to get some good partners here over the next year. We understand this is going to be a long-term kind of proposition to get this developed out, but this is the future for our city in terms of revenue diversification. So we are heavily focused on retail and restaurants, but we don't forget that we also are blessed to have some good light industrial and office businesses as well. And this is the future of what we hope our city will look like, and I'm looking forward to answering any questions that I can. Thank you so much.
Okay, good afternoon. Nice to be with you all. That's a full house, wow. I'm Jeff Kaczmarek, the short-time Economic Development Director for Prince William County. It's good to be with you all today. I'm still focused though, at least for a couple more months. Just want to go through this briefly and maybe spend a little more time for the Q&A at the end. I think that's really what we want to do. But this is our kind of our money shot when we're working with prospects and clients. And by the way, before I go too far, I want to make sure to acknowledge Supervisor Janine Lawson and Supervisor Marty Noe. I saw Marty, where is he? He's right in front of me. I will tell you this, in the 6.5 years I've been with Prince William County, the Board of County Supervisors has been incredibly supportive of our economic development activities, providing strategic direction, but not telling us technically how to do our jobs. That's what, as Marty tells me, that's what we pay you to do, Jeff. You know, we'll give you the resources, we'll give you the strategic direction, and then you execute. And that's been a wonderful, wonderful relationship, and I very much appreciate Janine and Marty's support over the years, as well as the rest of the board. It's made our job very, very easy, and we appreciate that. This is our money shot, and also, I'm sorry, George Harbin is our Director of Existing Business and Entrepreneurship in the back of the room there. Many of you know George. He does a fantastic job with our existing companies here in Prince William. Not to go over this in a lot of detail, but this is what we show prospects and companies when we're talking about Prince William County. The location, obviously, 20 miles from DC. We're the second largest and fourth fastest growing county in Virginia. Our workforce actually spans well into Fairfax County and beyond. We talk about that, because the workforce is what it's all about. Our interstates, our VRE stops, we talk about Dulles Airport, but don't worry, Patrick, we also talk about Manassas Regional Airport as one of our assets, even though it is in the city, but it is an important asset that we tout. A lot of higher education campuses nearby, of course, George Mason University and Northern Virginia Community College are two great partners, and we do a lot of work with them. A young population, we're growing. At-place employment is up to over 131,000 now. Unemployment rate continues to fall. This is an issue that we all face in this area. High median family income, and then the fact that we have our federal agencies here with FBI just across the street here, and of course Marine Corps Base Quantico. A well-managed county, strong AAA rating from all 3 bond agencies. Very few counties hold all of those 3 AAA ratings from all 3 agencies, something we're very proud of, a well-managed, fiscally conservative, business-friendly county. We also talk about the fact that we're in the Mid-Atlantic region, very strong market, cost competitive versus some of our neighboring communities. We have existing facilities that are available, large sites of development. We mentioned the VRE stops, the airports. The other thing that we do is talk about our relationship with the inland port, I-81, which serves the entire East Coast, and then which is served I-66, of course, running out there, and then I-95 as our eastern north and south access point. This is very important. I think we focus by board resolution on 5 target sectors: life sciences, biotech, federal agencies, corporate facilities, information technology, specialized logistics and supply chain, and advanced manufacturing. We added logistics and supply chain and advanced manufacturing about 4 years ago when we did a target industry analysis. We just completed a new target industry analysis. I'll be presenting that to the board in a few weeks here, and we'll provide some more clarity on these sectors. We've added some subsectors in there. So again, this is where we focus our energy. This is where, when we do outreach, this is where we can provide incentives for companies in these 5 areas. So this is something that we focus on every day, and where we spend our resources. Some of the major companies that are located in the county or nearby, Micron for one. Patrick's going to talk about his big win here recently, I'm sure. But it's a nice mix of companies in the, and I know he will talk about that for sure. Yeah, nice mix of companies in the healthcare sector, U.S. Foods, of course, representing our logistics and distribution area, FedEx as well, Montbard. AWS, Amazon Web Services, has an enormous presence here in this area. Corning MediaTek and ATCC, American Type Culture Collection, have both expanded in the county, and we will have some more exciting news to share next year. Someone will share that with you, it won't be me, about what's going on in our life sciences sector. Kaiser Permanente is building their new facility out on Heathcote. That'll open next year. They're also going to build a major facility on the eastern side of the county that will be a couple years out. MedLiminal is a new life sciences related company that is located here at Innovation Park. Cabela's is a fun project we worked on. Iron Mountain, one of our big data center clients, has a beautiful facility off Wellington Road. Moodle Electronics is a new, it's been around, but they're moving into new facilities here. Just want to touch for a second on Brickyard. Brickyard is a co-working space provider. We partnered with them in UniWest Development at Iasco Commons, which is on the eastern side of Prince William County near the Northern Virginia Community College Woodbridge campus and the Workforce Training and Education Center there, to develop our 3rd co-working space in Prince William County. Here near this campus, of course, we have our Prince William Science Accelerator, which we started working on 5 years ago. The board, in its wisdom, took a 10-year lease at the building and invested $1.3 million to build out 9 wet labs. We had no tenants at that time. That lab is filled with 10 life sciences companies right now. We had to divide our last lab up into 5 bench spaces because we have more companies than we had space. We have our first graduating company that will be moving into commercial wet lab space, Ceres Nanosciences. So that's been a rousing success. We also started the Virginia Serious Game Institute in conjunction with George Mason University. That is a computer game design incubator. That is also filled. And so we're looking forward to this Brickyard project in the eastern side of Prince William County. Will also be a co-working space, somewhat similar to WeWork, if you know that kind of physical space. And then, of course, our fun project was Farm to Brew Live, Two Silos Brewery. That has been a smashing success, and they will be opening their restaurant, Black Dog Restaurant, in the spring of next year. So I'm assuming everyone here has been out and partaken of their product. This is a quick snapshot through the October period of this year. We've done $653 million in private capital investment, 14 projects, 437 jobs. I can assure you that that number will grow dramatically. In the last 2 months of the year, we'll be announcing a number of new projects as well. We've had a great run. It's been fun to be part of this. Over the last 6 years, our office has been involved in 124 projects to date, 4,000 new jobs, and over $5 billion in new private capital investment. So we've come off really the 6 best years we've had in economic development in Prince William County over the last 20 years. And I will tell you that that will continue going forward. We're very confident of what we have in our pipeline. It's a strong, diverse pipeline, and I'm just excited to see what follow from afar how things progress. A couple testimonials, I won't go into those, but some of our clients very happy with the work that we've provided. We talked about our educated workforce here in Prince William compared to both Virginia and the rest of the United States. Our workforce, again, extends well into Fairfax, Loudoun, and to the south, and we recruit from that area. We have to with our low unemployment rate, but our companies have found that they're able to retain fine employees, and they stay longer than in comparable jurisdictions, which is an important point in terms of employee loyalty. So they're happy with their jobs in Prince William. The talent pipeline, of course, George Mason, largest public research university in Virginia. The Science and Technology campus here, Ron talked about some of the things here with what are going on. This campus is going to transform, as Ron said, over the next 5 years. They're bringing more life science assets down, engineering assets here. The Vocational School is already has an engineering lab up, and some very, very interesting things are going to be happening. The big thing is going to be the town center. So watch for that over the next couple of years as that starts to build out adjacent to the campus. Northern Virginia Community College, of course, a strong partner in our K-12 system. There's our access points, transportation infrastructure, Dulles International, very important. Robust fiber and power for our data centers, which are a huge, huge sector for us. Having a robust fiber network is critical to them. I think you all know that between Loudoun County and Prince William County, it is the largest data center market in the world. Loudoun has about 11 million square feet. We're at 4 million square feet. That's not actually how you measure data centers, you measure power, but nevertheless, and those will grow. And so our friends at Novec and Dominion, of course, are very anxious to serve those folks. And our competitive rates for power, extremely important because data centers are a major, major power sucker. Available land and buildings, we have some new product that's come on board out along Balls Ford Road. We could use more, but that's something we're working on. 5,800 acres, also commercially zoned and undeveloped land, so we've got room to grow as well. Innovation Park, we won't talk any more about that. We have questions later. Let's just say exciting things happening there. Virginia, although the state has dropped in business rankings over the past few years, there's an aggressive effort underway with the Virginia Economic Development Partnership to reverse that. So I think you'll see us, and it's already started to climb up on location on the radar screen of corporate executives and magazines and others who rate business climate. So that will change, and Virginia, I think, will regain its leadership role in terms of best place to do business. We have a number of incentives here. I can get into these later. Our 2 major ones are our Economic Development Opportunity Fund. We've incented a number of projects. I will tell you, though, that of those 124 projects, we've only incented about 5% of them. Most of them come for good business reasons, not because we provided an incentive. I think that's an important thing. I know this gets lost sometimes in the national debate about incentives. Obviously, with HQ2 about to announce here very shortly, this is something that's dominated the conversation. Our point is that Northern Virginia is a fantastic technology market, and Prince William County is a part of that. That's the message we should all be preaching, rather than worrying about how many incentives are given and so forth. This is a great area. Northern Virginia made one of the top 20 sites for HQ2, and that's really the important point, that we have the talent, we have the capability here, the educational infrastructure and others, to attract companies, whether it's Amazon, Apple, or any of the ones that I've talked about here in the last couple of minutes. So I'll leave it with that. We're happy to answer any questions later on. Thank you for your time.
Good afternoon, everybody. Oh, there it is.
That did take long.
We're done.
Yeah, when I ran this by my staff and talked to Ross about what I should present on today, he said, just come up, show this slide, drop the mic. It appears to be attached, and Ron will charge me for it. So, this is our economic development staff. We are two professionals in my office, myself and Nicole Smith, who many of you know. I think we punch well above our weight for an office of two, and she handles all of our existing business calls. She does about 120 of those a year, handles a lot of our external marketing. If you get her newsletter, our newsletter, she's the one that produces it. If you don't, sign up for it, but that's the staff in the city of Manassas. That is our city council through July 1. I want to recognize also Vice Mayor Cheryl Bass and thank her very much for her service to the city of Manassas. And Councilman Lovejoy, Councilman Mark Wolf, and we'll be welcoming 2 new city council members to the team in January. These are the things we do in my department: business retention, attraction, marketing, tourism. This is a shot of our annual business appreciation breakfast. If you own or operate a business in the city of Manassas, you're invited to this. It is our way to say thank you. One of the biggest things that is attractive about the city of Manassas is our collegial business atmosphere, the fact that our council, our staff, our business owners interact closely with one another, and it really is more like a small family than a small city. Oh, there it is again. Our obligatory infographics, city of about 41,000, 74,000 median income. Some other statistics up here. What's not on here is the fact that the city of Manassas has the 10th highest weekly wage in the Commonwealth of Virginia. We have the 4th highest wage in professional and technical services, and I think it's the 8th highest wage in healthcare and related services. And those wages are attributed to the companies listed in the lower left corner, who, along with many others, really anchor our city's economy. Manassas is a regional employment center. We are a net importer of labor, and we are also a manufacturing center. Those things are very rare and very unique in our country today. Our city, its economy is based on advanced manufacturing, as well as healthcare and government services, but 21,000 people drive into the city of Manassas every day to work at those employers that I showed you on the previous slide. What's great about Manassas, businesses can be a big fish in a little pond. Well, it won't all be that big. Manassas Regional Airport, some of my friends mentioned that. That is the busiest general aviation airport in the Commonwealth of Virginia. By itself, it accounts for 30% of all the general aviation economic activity in the state. It's home to companies like Aurora Flight Sciences, Chantilly Air, and others. And we've had some recent announcements out at that airport. We'll be adding a new fixed-based operator. We'll be adding some new corporate hangar space. And our airport director, Juan, is having a fantastic year with development in and around that facility. We have a train, now service all the way down to Lynchburg through Amtrak, connecting us essentially to the entire United States. VRE, heavily utilized, parking deck adjacent supports that. Our city's just fun. For those of you who enjoy cultural activities, this is our color vibe, where people get a chance to throw chalk on one another and run. I've seen pictures of some of our council people afterwards covered with chalk. As well as the hundreds and actually thousands of people that join us for that. Farmers markets, these are award-winning farmers markets. It's been ranked the top farmers market in the Commonwealth of Virginia. This is the one in Harris Pavilion in downtown. That's the one that we moved over to the VRE commuter lots on Saturday. It used to be in the parking lot next to the train station. And we were a little concerned about how it was going to be received by moving it over there. It had really outgrown its space. As you can see, it's very well attended, and moving it away from actual core of downtown, really hasn't had a negative impact on the shops and businesses. Again, the town's just fun. I mean, I see most of you down here. This is Shadamanzas, First Fridays, special events throughout the year. Over 300,000 people come into the city of Manassas to participate in our special events every year, whether it's a First Friday activity, our Veterans Day Parade this weekend is fantastic. Please come out. Our Christmas parade's coming up. The chair of the city's Christmas parade, Mark Olson, is here. If you haven't talked to him about how you can get involved in the Christmas parade in the city of Manassas, please do. Most of our parades are highly dependent on volunteers and businesses, but again, it's part of what makes the city so fantastic. Manassas Ballet, we also have a chorale and a symphony. These are incredible cultural assets. They perform here at George Mason's campus. We have a business-friendly environment. I see our friends from Novant. I see Kim pointing at the slide. She probably took this picture for us. We don't necessarily measure the success of our department by the number of new businesses we attract or capital investment. As you can see from that slide that keeps popping up, you can have a really bad year and not get a whole lot, or you can have a fantastic year like we did last year. So what we really want to do is track the overall health of the local economy. Now, these aren't factors that I can necessarily directly influence, but if these numbers are moving in the right direction, assumedly the city and everybody that works to make it a better place are doing the right things. These numbers lag. We haven't produced next year's numbers yet. I'll do that in my annual report to City Council in January, but because we use federal data and state data, some of this comes a little bit behind, but our unemployment rate now is down around 2.5%, which is significantly low and is actually probably going to start creating a challenge for our employers if it hasn't already. Some pressure on wages. Wage inflation is a fantastic thing, but if you can't get the labor, that becomes a more significant problem. So one of the things I'd like to see us start working collectively on is a workforce development and workforce attraction strategy for this region. Civilian labor force continues to trend in the right direction. More and more people employed every year. These are our major employers. Micron Technology, obviously our largest. Novant Health, our second. Novant is actually bigger than that, but these are the employees in the city. We canvass these employers every year at the end of the year. The City Public Schools, Lockheed Martin, their underseas division is in the city of Manassas. BAE, their space division is in the city of Manassas. And it's a diverse and very functional group of employers that again, contribute to the city's economic health. But again, I mentioned challenges. Last year we started asking our employers, when we called them at the end of the year to find out what their current employment is, what sort of workforce needs do they have? These are just from two of our employers. One on the left is a financial services firm. At the time we called them, they had 25 vacancies, internship opportunities. Yes, ma'am?
2 minutes. 2 minutes.
Oh. Either that or peace. Household incomes rising, property values rising, meals and sales tax revenues rising, commercial and residential permits, sort of like capital investment. This is a number that's going to be all over the map, but we really want to see it staying up, because there's two ways for us to grow our government revenues. One is by adding new property to the tax base or by having assessments increase, and the other and less preferable method is by raising taxes. Number of establishments in the city, these are businesses, 1,500. I mentioned Nicole calls on 120 a year, so in 10 years she'll be back to the first one. Housing units, median value, this is something we track very closely. It's again a measure of our financial health, but also our tax base, and that's heading in the right direction, $293,000. Exciting new developments, the landing at Cannon Ranch, 40 acres, $150 million mixed-use development. 63 of those townhomes and 2 over 2 units have been sold. Truett Cathy is the developer with Stanley Martin, Chamber Board member, and those are averaging about $375,000 a piece right now. Manassas Station, a new exciting multifamily project in downtown. as well as Messenger Place. This is a little bit of a dated shot. I saw Coleman in the room earlier. These two projects will add about 300 rental units in the city, right in downtown. We're tracking who's moving into these new developments. It's a younger, higher net worth, professional and technical oriented workforce, and in both the townhomes and in these units, very few school-age children coming out of these developments. So they add to the tax base, add to people's disposable income, or to the community's disposable income. Aurora Flight Sciences, another big success for us last year. They're headquartered in the city of Manassas. They employ 450 worldwide, but last year they agreed to expand and create a robotics center here that's advanced manufacturing, research and development as well. Those jobs pay over $100,000 a year, and then of course that is my closing slide. This I know I'm out of time, Betty. This deal was huge, not just for the city of Manassas, for the region. This is the city's largest taxpayer, largest employer, largest utility user. They're in a commodity-based business that is extremely price sensitive, and they're in a business that has to retool on a regular basis, which means massive amounts of capital investment. This was the smallest facility in the Micron system. If the city was not able to work with its partners at the Commonwealth of Virginia, I see another board member in the room, Eric, at Dominion, we have an agreement to allow Dominion to serve this company. If we were not able to have done this deal, I will lay you money that company would not be in this region 10 years from now, if not 5 years from now. So I know it's a huge deal for the numbers and for the jobs and the economic activity it's going to create, but it's an even bigger deal because of the stability it brings to this area. So, Nicole put this slide in my presentation. I don't know if it was sunrise, I like sunshine and daisies, or if she's telling me I need to ride off into the sunset. That's us. Thanks.